Hey folks, it's Coach Mo Faul, Coach Mo coming to you live here on Facebook, talking about you again for the 200th week in a row. I'm focused on you. Why? Because there's something really important that has begun to happen on our free clarity calls that we conduct and we offer to all professional women who are just not where they want to be in their careers. And there's something holding them back. There's something stopping them. And this week, I want to address one of the problems that we see regularly: what to do with that expensive education. So many women that we speak to on our free career clarity calls are overeducated, underemployed, and what that means is that they're underpaid. And why do we have someone with college degrees, master's degrees, PhDs, other advanced education, sometimes double and triple advanced education, still not where they want to be in their careers and still kind of struggling for making that traction, that ground with moving on and moving ahead? Why in the first place did you get an education? Many people, of course, like to learn, and having an education feels good. It feels good to have stuff up on the wall. Where's some of my stuff over there? It feels good to have educational credentials and to have learned whatever it is that would advance yourself and your career. So often, however, we see the women we speak to solving their career problems by getting another degree or getting a certification. They say to us really point blank, I'm going to solve this by getting my master's degree. I'm going to solve this by getting my doctorate. That's it. I'm going to spend the next 6 years getting my doctorate. And meanwhile, what happens is that in that time of the rational brain kind of convinced, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's get another degree. What's happening is that the income continues to slip down relative to what it could be. So we're seeing compressed wages, compressed income over a longer period of time with using the I'll get another degree or I'll get some more education as the answer. If you've got a college degree and you've been working for about 20 plus-ish years, you should be over $80,000, between $80,000 and $120,000 a year, more or less, give or take. And that would be like a nice, easy progression of your career. And if you're not at that number or not at that level, something went wrong. Seriously, it's like diagnosing a career like being able to walk. So if you've been walking for 45 years and now you have a slight little limp or you're kind of leaning to one side, something's going on wrong with your lower limbs. And sometimes it's a tight hip or a bad low back or something else that's going on that's causing your walking to go wrong. And if you keep doing the wrong walking, you're going to have even more severe consequences. So when I say if you're not making that level of money, something's wrong, I mean it. I seriously do. You should be exerting the influence in the marketplace that you have that gains you the biggest contribution, that feels good to your soul, and it's satisfying to you as a person, as a professional, and it's bringing the highest level of money into your family to fuel your future. Got a little bit of a cold here today, so I'm getting into my green tea. So let's cheers on the green tea. If you're not where it would be expected to be, we have to say something's wrong. It's how one assesses anything. And not being judging like there's something wrong with you. There very well could be something, but it's probably fixable. But it's really something that you've been exerting into the marketplace that's not working for you. And if you think getting an additional degree on top of what's currently not working, that's simply faulty logic. Completely faulty logic. You cannot repair repair or fix a degree with getting another degree on top of what's not working already. It doesn't fix it. Now, with that being said, there are certain professions that you need advanced degrees with. Granted, Totally get it? Rock on. So here's the thing. You don't need that advanced degree to accelerate your career. Again, in some professions, you may. So in some technical professions, or I was in healthcare, without an advanced degree, managing a hospital is going to be almost impossible. Certainly going to medical school is going to be necessary if you're going to be a doctor. Going to law school is necessary if you want to be a lawyer. All of those are exactly. Okay, gotcha. All right, so I'm just checking out my comments here. So all the problems with your career have to be looked at in the zone of, what am I doing that's holding myself back? So what I'd like you to do is just to take a little personal inventory here and think about your career. First of all, are you where you want to be professionally speaking? Are you at the level of impact, influence, contribution in an organization that feels right for your soul? Is your soul expanding to the level that feels right and good and true for you as a person? If that is not true for where you are, something's broken and it needs to be fixed. Okay? So do the first question for yourself. Am I where I want to be with my career and profession? If the answer is no, we got to fix something. So when we look to fix something, we say, all right, well, what has happened in your career? So again, just like showing up at the orthopedic doctor, what you have to do is tell the doctor, show her your broken ankle or your swollen ankle. She can't look further unless she takes a look closely at what's going on and then asks you a lot of questions that are going to help her understand what your broken or swollen ankle is all about. Swollen ankle doesn't necessarily mean it's broken. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's sprained. It may be due to a fluid in your body that's causing your ankle to be swollen. There's other things. And if you take just the obvious route, you could very well be wrong. So that's, again, why we offer the free career clarity call as an example, because we want to help you assess what's really going on in your career. And please do not just say, I need another degree. All the people who have these jobs have a PhD. Okay, that may be true, but what we often see with the women who we speak to on these clarity calls, all they're doing is coming from at least the place where they know. So when we only know what we know, then clearly we don't have all this other possibility. Okay? So it's important to understand what you're really saying to yourself. So question number 1, are you where you want to be in your career? It's an easy question. Yes or no? If it's yes, you can get off this Facebook Live or this podcast and move on to something else in your life. But if you are not happy with where your career is and what you're getting paid, there's something going on. Maybe you got passed over for a promotion. Maybe everyone who gets promoted in your company has certain characteristics and attributes that you don't have. Perhaps you said the wrong thing at a meeting and now you're marginalized. Perhaps you're not that likable. I don't know. Perhaps people see you as someone who's weak and they don't want to give you more responsibility. Perhaps you haven't asked for it. Perhaps you haven't stepped up to the plate on projects or assignments that would make you look promotable. I recently spoke about the 5 deadly career sins, and there's a few of them that get everyone into a trap. And the last one I spoke about is working too hard, working too many hours. That is seen as actually a career limiting problem. So if you're a leader in an organization and you have 10 people reporting to you and 3 of them work long hours, seem exhausted, and don't seem to be able to manage themselves, those 3 people are not going to be looked at as promotion material. As a matter of fact, I've had women in my workshop who their bosses have said that to them. Unless you get your work hours under control and start showing up differently here, we're just not going to see you as someone who's promotable. So we have to fix that. And it's not a degree. It's not an advanced degree. Now you may say, well, I don't need that boss. I don't need that kind of accountability, responsibility. I just want to get another degree so I can teach or do something that's just not as responsible. Wah, wah. Do not go in that direction at all. It's another trap of rationalization. So be careful not to rationalize what's really going wrong. If you book your free career clarity call, we'll be very happy to help identify the things that are not working for you and probably going on there. Oh, thank you very much, Kristen and Amy. Nice to see you. Valerie, great to see you here. Yes, this is your story, Valerie. So now we have to fix the problem in another way if we rule out the degree as the problem. Taking my sips of green tea. So when we look at what's really going on, so just put to yourself, all right, if your career is not where you want it to be, that's a yes. So now, why? Why is your career not where you want it to be? Be honest with yourself and identify the 2 or 3 things that are not really going that well. And can you take some personal responsibility for just knowing it? Just be clear and honest with yourself for just knowing what's going on here. And perhaps there's some things you have to do differently. Perhaps there are. More than likely there are. And chances are it's not getting an additional degree. Most of the things we fix fall into a couple of categories. Number 1, the need to be liked and overplaying that. It's not a necessary component of being successful at work. Number 2, fear of the unknown. Yes, all of life is unknown actually, but it's just the rational fear brain that tries to convince us that we know certain things and we stay with the things that we know. The truth is, according to a gazillion studies in psychology, our fear brain convinces us that our comfort zone is the right thing and that when we feel uncomfortable, it's bad. That's what our fear brain does to us. Hey, Paula, nice to see you. Afton, great to see you here too. Amy, great to see you. Our fear brain convinces us that change is bad because we don't like uncertainty. So we will load up the certainty even if all that certainty sucks for us. It's basic psychology. So if you're feeling like, ooh, making a change, that's bad, but it really isn't bad. It's just that your brain is convinced of it because you're in fear mode. Oh, thank you, Jessica, for pointing that out. Yes, indeed. You can visit all my 5 deadly career sin episodes at mofaul.com/5, as in the number 5, deadly career sins. Thanks, Jessica, for making that known to everyone. I've gotten a lot of great response from that, by the way. Thank you, and thanks for your positive comments on it. Okay, so you have to be honest with yourself about what's really holding you back. And chances are there are those big things that we see in most of the women we talk to. Basically, it all boils down to not having enough self-confidence, not having clarity, and not having a great strategy on what to do next. Here's the truth. There are probably people in your life that have given you advice on your career. More than likely, those people are not more successful than you. Check that out. And if they are, is their advice feeling valid and right? I'm a professional career coach. I had a very successful 30-plus year career as an executive in healthcare. I climbed the ladder. I lost my jobs, got fired, laid off, reorganized out, sexually harassed, picked on, bullied in public, insulted by my bosses. I pretty much bent through every single situation that one could stir up on the career front. And through it all, I worked through to become a better version of me, to solve it. Yes, there were times where I pointed the finger, it's them, it's them, it's them, it's them. But really, what's really going on most of the time is that there was something that I was not showing up for myself. And I made some assumptions that were wrong, dead wrong. I made some assumptions that were dead wrong. And when I hired my first coach in the year 2000, I was in duress in a really great job I loved. I was making over $150,000 a year. I was pretty happy with my title. but it was miserable because I was getting nowhere, and I was doing an uphill sprint to try to get a big initiative done for this healthcare system. And it just, all the political chips, well, most of them were stacked against me. It was very difficult. And when I'm under difficult situations, or at least back then, I try to be better now, I would just work harder and effort more and be more bold and aggressive. That was injuring me politically. So my first coach helped me navigate that situation better, and I learned a lot. I eventually lost that job. Reorganization, I lost that job, and I moved on to something else. Better, bigger title, more exciting opportunity. Each and every time I fell off or got kicked off the plane, I popped back with a newer version of me. I worked on this person because she is the only person who is going to help in your career. The woman in the mirror is the only person who's going to help. Your husband's not going to help. Your best friend, your cousin, your brother-in-law who's a recruiter, they're not going to help you. They have their interests and their fears, and that's how they filter the world. They don't professionally understand what it takes for a woman to up-level her career. And frankly speaking, with over 450 women who I've worked with over the past 4 years, I'm pretty darn good at it. We have a great recipe for success, and I have a team of coaches who know what the heck they're doing. And when we work together, there's a beautiful tribe of sisterhood that helps each woman advance and succeed. Because when you do it on your own, it takes a whole lot of energy to keep convincing yourself that it's going to be all right. A great coach can do that as well. But when you're surrounded by a tribe of like-minded women who are all on the same journey, it just feels better. You know, I recently saw a video from the finish of the Pittsburgh Marathon. I think it was yesterday on my Runner's World email. I've been subscribing to Runner's World since I was in high school. Been a runner and identified with that sport for many, many years, having ran several marathons myself. I had a client who ran a marathon the week before last. Another client, bravo to you ladies, who ran a half marathon. Another one who ran a half marathon this past weekend. When we go to achieve things that are uncommon, yes, there's several 100,000 people who run a half marathon, but most of the planet has not run a half marathon. So these two ladies were running the Pittsburgh Marathon, and they came across each other at mile 14. A full marathon is 26.2 typically grueling miles. And Pittsburgh Marathon, which I have run, is very hilly, and it takes a lot to get through and complete. I think there's like 3,400 finishers last weekend, May 5th. These two women ran into each other on the course of the marathon, and were both pretty much struggling at mile 14. And they made a pact with each other that they were going to finish the marathon together. They'd never met each other before. One of them had run a marathon before, and the other, it was her first one. So they ran hand in hand through the final 12.2 miles or so, almost half of the marathon, together, hand in hand, probably not the whole time hand in hand, but they would take each other by the hand to help the other gain strength and momentum as they needed it to switch off and on. These two women finished the marathon beyond the regulation time. Usually they like clean up the water stations and stuff at certain hours have gone by because the volunteers have to get home and whatever, that to clear the streets out. These women were the last two finishers. And they finished to cheers of a small little group of people who hung out to the end of the finish line for them, to the van that was following them for the last 10 miles or so. They finished holding hands with each other. They had never known each other, and what they did for each other was basically good old-fashioned moral support. Those women each individually said they would have never been able to finish the marathon if it wasn't for their new friend. And that's the same sense and the same feeling I get with all the women in my workshop. So one of the reasons why you might be looking out there for the answer and trying to get an advanced degree or certification, oh, I'll just get more credentials, is because inside you don't feel worthy. And you're using all those external things to build up on an unworthiness that basically needs to get healed. You're not going to advance in your career very far if you feel unworthy or if you don't have the confidence, or if you don't know how to show up powerfully in meetings or have difficult conversations with people. You can't do that. You can't pretend that your unworthiness doesn't exist. I don't espouse to the whole fake it till you make it thing. What we do is build you up from the inside, because that advanced degree needs to go to work for you. For you. That college degree needs to go to work for you. Leverage it. Use it. Don't use it as an excuse that you need more, because that's probably what you've been doing. Seeking out the validation of an external body in order to feel good about yourself, and it doesn't work, does it? No. There's a lot of people with master's degree, double and triple master's degrees, PhDs, that aren't employed at the level where they ought to. And it all comes down to how they feel about themselves. And yes, sometimes there's people without PhDs or master's degrees who are far exceeding those people in their careers, because they have the confidence and they know how to navigate the environment. So do yourself a favor and do a really clear reflection on what it is that's really holding you back from the career aspirations that you have. Your soul is in there saying, do a little bit more. You're more than this. You can do so much more. You can make a greater contribution. You know you could make more money. That soul is speaking to you. Answer. Answer. And don't wrap another degree on top of that for fear that you don't have enough to advance yourself. Get that soul shiny and bright, lift it up, and get super clear on where you're headed, and get great professional advice about what to do next, how to resume up, how to LinkedIn up, how to interview powerfully. Make sure you're getting the proper direction, and make sure that you have the right support system. Not just family and friends. With all due respect, unless your family and friends are professional career coaches, please don't ask them for career advice. They might mean well, and they all probably do, but they're probably coming from a place of lack and fear, and they want what's best for you, which means they want you not to be upset or fearful. So they're going to push you in a direction of what they think is the fastest decision, fastest Band-Aid for you. Excuse me. So I implore upon you, if hundreds of thousands maybe, or tens of thousands of dollars on an expensive education, please do your own reflection on what's really holding your career back. Because chances are, yes, Jay, that's right. Chances are it's something inside of you, and it's not a lack of a degree or another degree or more perfect this or more perfect that. Chances are you've been hiding from your power for years, because as a young person, you were probably criticized for it. And that's what we see over 90% of the time in the women we work with. Criticized for being smart, criticized for being a perfectionist, criticized for caring too much, criticized and shut down. And so now over decades, the soul just shrinks, shrinks, shrinks. And now, because the soul power, which is your number one power in life, is diminished, you don't have that source of strength to go out to the marketplace, to ask for more money, to do more, to be more, to take on more responsibility. So you want to rely on another degree to do that for you. It cannot do the heavy lifting. You, my dear, have to reach inside and solve the problem from within. And then a beautiful resume, and then great strategy and clarity and accountability, and a beautiful. We do all of that in my 12-week kick-ass workshop, and it's amazing. Matter of fact, on Friday, one specific gift from one of our clients. I love it when I get the post, I got the job. Yes, indeed. And this woman pivoted from an engineering career, then she went into education while she was raising her family, and now, kind of compressed and suppressed and repressed as an educator. She wanted to get back into the private sector, and bam, we were able to help lift her in her confidence first, and then give her a great strategy and great ways of getting that to happen. And that's what the truth is about advancing your career. You're advancing your career not through advanced degrees, but by becoming a higher, better version of you. Lisa, I didn't even know I had power. True that. So many women don't, because life has been a series of us just dealing with other people's opinions of us. And so we kind of bounce around from one person's opinion of us to the next, and we wake up at 45, 50, 55, sometimes later in life, and realize that we never claimed for ourselves what we could have had. It's not too late. It's not too late at all. There have been plenty of women in my workshop in their 60s, mid 60s, lost jobs or haven't worked at their potential in years, and we get them up leveled. Yes, there's work to do, but your soul is worth saving. Your soul is worth saving, and your career is worth saving. It is the only thing, your career is the only thing that's going to give back to you in the level that it can. There's no investment, no real estate, no passive income opportunity that's going to deliver the way your career can. Nothing. There is nothing that is going to deliver like a career well done. So it behooves you, if you're educated and you're a professional and you've been relying on those degrees and they just aren't cutting the mustard for you, you've got to work on numero uno. Look her in the mirror and say, what's really going on here? And for a further deep dive, you definitely want to book a call with us for your free career clarity call. That's why we do them. We do the free career clarity calls because really there's nothing better than going to the doctor's office and getting that diagnosis. And we do that with the free career clarity call. We're like the career doctor. And me and my team are specially trained in figuring out what's really going on. And you're going to have clarity on exactly what that is. So you can book your call at mofaul.com/live clarity call. And so Jay writes, I was exploring advanced degrees before I did this workshop. So glad I made the choice. I know. And Jay is a very educated woman who has so much to offer the marketplace now, today, not waiting. So let's just think about this. Let's just think about, oh, right on. So Hazer, thanks for dropping by as well. Let's just think about this. Let's use Jay as an example. So Jay maybe would have parked her career on the sidelines for 4, 5, 6 years, either working at a smallish job while pursuing her advanced degree, probably just kind of ballparking, because I know kind of what this looks like, a $40,000 to $50,000 a year downgrade of what she could be doing in the marketplace while pursuing a PhD that may or may not cost her that much money. But if you get a fellowship and you get your PhD, maybe it's a full ride, but then you're probably working full time on that PhD. So let's just say it's a total of, let's just lowball this, $100,000 to get a PhD. Maybe, let's call it 50, just to do round math. So here Jay would be working on her PhD, losing $50,000 a year because she's unsure of what she's worth in the marketplace and what she should do. So she's going to rely on another educational credential. So she's going to park herself and settle for something small while she's pursuing her PhD, losing $50,000 a year. Not only that, but contributing at a lower level than she's capable of. So that frustration mounts as well. And she knows she's making $50,000 less a year doing that. So she's frustrated at herself. She's playing at a lower level. She's getting probably a little bit of pushback from her coworkers because she thinks she should be contributing here, but she's actually here. So that $50K income loss equals contribution lower in the organization, which increases frustration. So let's just say that that's 5 years. 5 years making $50,000 less, $250,000 less, while spending money getting that next level of education. And for the most part, that PhD may not deliver what she wants in her career. It just may be like throwing something out against the wall, hoping that an extra credential will increase her chances of a better job. And PhDs are very specific degrees for doing very specific things. So if you want to leverage yourself in the marketplace in a lot of arenas, a PhD is actually just the opposite of what you want to do. So actually sorting that out and getting really great career advice with a professional coach, along with who you are and what you're really talented at. When we bring all of that together, we can solve the equation. And I tell so many women who are thinking about an advanced degree, put that on hold for just a few weeks or so, and let's sort out who you really are, what your natural gifts and talents are, what your life purpose and your core values are, and let's wrap that career aspiration into those things about who you are, and let's create a really great strategy to have you pursue the best, highest level job with all of that coming together. And if that means you must have another degree, we're going to sort that out. And you will know for sure whether an advanced degree is the thing that's holding you back. Hazer, as an example, confidence is a secret ingredient. Absolutely. She was thinking of having a CPA on top of an MBA, and what a waste that would have been. Absolutely. It was not even aligned with my sole purpose and what I wanted to do. Thank you, Mo. Absolutely. So that would have been a backwards credential, and it would have gotten her sealed into more of the traditional accounting pieces of her career. And that's not what was aligned with her greater truth and what she really wants to do and what she really brings to the table. So it would have been a whole jumbling of bad moves, frankly. Glad you joined the workshop, and glad we got you coached and strategically aligned and got into powerful positions with your current employer, and now you're off to the races knowing exactly what it is. Life clarity equals career clarity. Absolutely, Kristen. Totally agree. An Ivy League degree does not automatically mean a great job. I've been playing at too low of a level for too long. I'm now ready to use that degree to show up big. Absolutely, Paula. And it took a next step of getting back on track with your career to give you the foundation of being able to then leapfrog on top of that. Sometimes you might need that. And if you have personal circumstances that kind of took your career off path for a little while, getting back at the best, highest of what's possible now is that interim step of building that level of confidence, getting traction on real work product and contribution so that you can absolutely own the fact that you deserve the next level. And sometimes we do that in our workshop, depending on the circumstances. We have a proven formula for moving women from point A to point B, and it works. And here's the thing, it's the first step, not the last. It's the first step to the next step. It's the first step to confidence and building a career strategy. It's the first step to actually having a plan and not just hoping that something works out. Oh, I think I'll just apply for my master's in nursing, and if I get in, then I'll pursue that. What? What kind of a strategy is that? We did recently have a woman who was in the workshop, a nurse, who was totally downplaying what she brings to the table and listening to all the BS she's gotten a big part of her career. Told her she'd never actually amount to much, told her she'd never be a good nurse. She was listening to that a little bit too loudly and responding to it. Meanwhile, deep in her heart, she really wanted to educate new nurses. And after going through the workshop and totally owning her truth and her strength and her power, not only did she up-level her current situation, but she got super clear on the fact that she wants to get her master's in nursing so she can be a nursing educator. And that didn't come through throwing something on a wall and seeing if it sticks. It came through her own self-reflection. She took responsibility for the fact that she wasn't showing up powerfully in her career for a long time. And she was just thinking too small. We got her totally up-leveled inside, got her soul raised up, and then had her be more powerful in her current role and think of the possibilities there. It's only from that point could her new filter of who she is and what's possible for her bring an opportunity of getting her master's in nursing to the forefront and have that be a solid, great idea. She easily applied and was accepted into the program. And within the time in the workshop, boom, her career is totally set. She knows exactly who she is. She's living more powerfully as her own person and as a career woman, knowing exactly where she's going. She has a strategy. You want to talk about building confidence? Get a clear-cut strategy and know exactly where you're going. That's a confidence builder. But that's confidence from the outside. We build your confidence from the inside. So when you have that inside and outside, You're unstoppable. Unstoppable. Taught me to believe myself. I walked in doubting every step I took. Absolutely. Beautiful, Deborah. I totally love it. Yes, I had a great interview and it was focused on my experience. Absolutely. So when we think we have to lace our career missteps with another degree, we're usually wrong. You have to lace your career missteps or backslides or not getting to where you want to yet with confidence, with clarity, with a great strategy, and with a tribe of other women who are going to help lift you up. Not to mention experienced, excellent, world-class coaching to get you there. And on my coaching team, I am proud to have Bonnie Negron, who is a certified resume coach and certified LinkedIn expert. We wrap the entire package up for our ladies. So this whole advanced degree thing doesn't become the solution. Sometimes it is. We've had plenty of women go through the workshop who get really clear on who they are. They build up their confidence. They make exertional changes within their current career, and then they have a plan going forward. And they are crystal clear on why that plan is right for them and what to do about it. The master nursing client, one example, and there's another client who decided to pursue another avenue of her education in order to pursue a professional endeavor in organizational development, leadership development that she really, truly wanted. And after we vetted it out over the 12 weeks in the workshop, it was clear to her that that was the right choice for her. But you've got to do the work. You've got to do the work on self-reflection, self-responsibility, building yourself up, and then getting really honest about what's really going on and then fixing that. Fixing that specific thing. Just like if it was your car, if your car's not running due to the battery, you don't put more gas in the tank hoping that your car's going to run. It just doesn't work that way. You have to get to the problem. And if the problem is your battery, fix the battery, and then your car's going to run. So just like with your career, you've got to fix the thing that's wrong. You've got to fix the thing that is wrong. And if your education isn't the thing that's wrong, don't fix it. For God's sake, get employed at the highest level possible. And then you can strategize what the next item is, what the next strategy is, what the next step is. You can't fix all of your career problems with an advanced degree or getting more education or another certification. I've had women in my workshop who have been already pursuing their master's or another degree, and they're like, oh, I got to wait to get that job until I finish. That's going to be like a year or so, Mo. Why? Why do you have to wait? Who told you that line? We get women jobs in professions that they have been pursuing and sort of in and whatever, and they think they're not ready. Why? Because the degree's not done. Oh, does that mean you don't have anything to offer? You're not smart? You don't have experience? Like all that went out the window because now you're just pursuing a degree? That's not what's going to get you a job. What's going to get you a job is who you are and what you can do for that organization. Those two things, who you are and what you can do for them. Okay? So work on that. Work on that. Yeah. Just looking through some of the comments. Sometimes, Debbie, it doesn't all come together in the right manner. But you got to just keep that, like you said, just keep building your strength. Just keep building your strength. Just keep building your strength. Again, we are hired as professionals for who we are and what we can bring to the organization. So you can really work really all day long on who you are, the strength of you, the alignment, the purpose, the conviction, the confidence, the ability to communicate. All of those things are in the workshop. All of those tools bring you to a level of an employer saying, yeah, that's going to be a great hire. So please do not lean on an expensive education as the answer. It may be, but chances are it's a small percentage of what the answer is. Check inside, do a reflection on what's really not working for you, and then take a look at what those things are. They could be fixed by the work we do in my workshop, and we're happy to talk to you. mofaul.com/ What's the URL again? Let me just check. I think it's live clarity call. Let's see. Yep. Mofaul.com/live clarity call. Use that URL specifically to let us know that you came from this Facebook Live. And if you're listening to this on a podcast, please feel free to use that web link to get your free clarity call booked. So many beautiful comments from ladies, both clients and not clients. I'm here to tell you, ladies, we've got a secret recipe for up-leveling women's professional careers. It works. It's fun. And like several of the women who have commented here already today, it brings your life back. It brings your life back to bring your soul to work, to land your dream job. In that order, because it does not happen in the other order. It does not happen, dream job, and then work on your soul. Nope. That's like saying drive to LA and then fill up with gas. It doesn't work that way. It's backwards. So do yourself a favor and this week focus on what it is that you really need to take responsibility for that's not working for you, and then do something about it. Do something about it. If you're concerned whether your advanced degrees are being leveraged to the right way, or if your idea of going to get an advanced degree or more education or more certifications, if you're wondering if that's the right move, why don't you give us a call, actually book your call at mofaul.com/live clarity call, and we would be happy to help you sort it out. And if you're not right for the workshop, that's cool. No problem. You get some clarity. We get to meet you, and hopefully we get another raving fan and a friend of our work here at Bring Your Soul to Work. This is America's kick-ass career coach, Mo Faul. You can find me everywhere on the internet and social media, Coach Mo Faul or mofaul.com. We'll see you next time on your Motivational Monday. You can find my podcast and feel free to spend your commuter days listening to my podcast, mofaul.com/blog. Have a great time. We'll see you next time. This is Mo Faul. Bye now.